Hi, welcome to A Punk with Toys. I'm Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at the Super 7 Reaction G.I. Joe Arctic Rescue Vehicle. This comes with a Snake Eyes and the Blind Woodsman. So, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, follow the channel, completely appreciate it. Also, if you're interested, A Punk with Toys on Instagram. So quickly, let's get right into this thing, because that's what you guys want to see, and find out if this vehicle is worth a whopping $75. I bought it. Does that mean it's worth $75? It all depends on you and your finances. So, take a look at it, and right from the beginning, there is no doubt the artwork looks great. This box looks great. This thing just rings out what we had in the 80s. No real American hero. That's unfortunate, but you got your two windows where your figures would be. Obviously, I already have them open. You have a really nice design. And the dogs are literally just look like they're coming right off the box. And then you have him shooting or whatever he does. I don't fully remember the episode. I do remember Snake Eyes and getting radioactive. You know, getting the radiation poisoning and this guy saving him somehow. And on the back here, we have a couple panels of the cartoon. And then we have the file cards. And clearly, he's a new file card. So I'm not sure who's really doing these for Super 7. So, anyway. I picked this up. I'm not a big fan of the 5 points of articulation, which I did mention in the Target exclusive Snake Eyes that I did. This guy right here. But, nonetheless, this is something that's never been made. These figures have never been made. The Blind Woodsman has never been made. You're going to get 6 dogs, a sled, a radioactive Snake Eyes that says red glow. So I'm interested if he glows red in the dark or what, because I sure don't see a red glow. His canister, which is supposed to be radioactive. And then the Blind Woodsman with his laser rifle. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Snake Eyes also comes with a laser pistol. So, I like this. Again, not a big fan of 5 points of articulation, but as I display stuff, this is something I think that can be seen in the back. He's not really going to be doing much if he's just making Snake Eyes and pulling him. He doesn't need to be really articulated. So let's take a look at this. We're going to look at the dogs that he comes with, the 2 figures and the sled, and then you can decide if you want to use your good hard-earned money to purchase something like this. All right, so here we go. Take a look at this artwork. It is really nice. There's obviously, they do their own artwork. It looks different than the original, but very, very classic feel. The explosion is clearly different than anything they did back in the 80s, but I do like the way that it looks. You got this blind guy. They even make it look like they have no point of articulation here. And then you have that shows 4 dogs, and they're literally just running right off. You're going to have your red glow, tells you what it is. And again, the back, and this is from the original movie. And as you can see, you're not going to get Snake Eyes to hold that like that because 5 points of articulation. But here you have your 2 file cards. They're meant to cut off. I will say this. I think they could have thinned it down. Maybe saved a couple trees here. Save space on the shelf. But hey, it's nice. It's a thick box. It does look nice. All right, so now let's take a look at what we have here. So here's our Blind Woodsman. Again, ooh, look at that. Look at that. All right, so let's see if we can get it. All right, so Blind Woodsman, and he does look like what I do remember in the cartoon. He has this gun. I will say this. Big, big handle. You have to stretch his hand out to get it on there. And I didn't do it to begin with. The picture at the beginning, I believe it's like that. I won't be doing that because you're going to stretch that plastic out and it's going to be absolutely useless. And it's super long. It's kind of flimsy, kind of flexible. So you can see it's already lost. Came like this, not even straight, but that's fine. Again, we know what we're getting with these reaction figures. Again, 5 points of articulation. Not very much. Barely 5 points, considering his head doesn't really turn. Here's our snake eyes. He comes with this laser pistol. I really don't remember this laser pistol, but I'm sure it was in there. Again, 5 points. Up, down, kick. His head does turn. Now this is the same snake eyes that is in the regular reaction line, which is a dark blue. And it's also the same one of this Secret Service. All right, which is this light blue with an AK-47. And I think I'm going to do a video in a little bit to explain what that is, because people are seeing it on the shelves and nobody knows what it is. But it is a different mold than issue 21. Same articulation and everything. So, again, this is what you get with Super 7. Reaction. All right. So, if we take a look at this, move these guys out of our way. I guess I should show you. He doesn't really have much. Seriously, it's just the belt across. Some little armbands with pouches. Supposedly he glows red. He is a translucent. Alright, but we have scare glow here, and we're going to shut the lights off once we're done here and see if there is any glow, because I don't know about you, but I don't see any type of glow on him. Then you have your Woodsman again. There's not much to him. You know, what do you compare him to? You compare him to the cartoon. But it's kind of cool to have a dog sled. So, here's your sled. And Snake Eyes seriously just lays down in it. It's actually pretty nice. He doesn't really move around too much. So what I did was I brought the Retro Stalker up, pop him off, and let's see how well. See, he fits fairly decent. The Retro have longer legs because they are 4 inches, not 3.75. But you could fit a Retro figure in here fairly easily. And then I brought up Iceberg, who fits a little bit better due to the fact that he is a 3.75 O-ring. So that's pretty cool. Now they do have pegs and handles here for the Woodsman. So you pop them on here and then slide the hands on there. Again, you really don't need to so much because of the pegs. But here's one thing I did notice with the first Super 7 I had was the holes look like they're about the size of O-rings, but they definitely are not. And they're not the size of Retro either. So you wouldn't be able to fit a Retro figure on here without doing some drilling of his pegs in his feet. Guess he'd kind of be like a Valaverse. You can drop one of these O-ring figures on here because it's too small, but as you can see, he's kind of leaning back. So you never have to worry about a peg breaking off in his foot. But it's kind of disappointing that they don't use a standard peg system. They're using their own peg system, but as you can see, if I remove the gun from Iceberg, I can clearly get him up here and make it look like he's using the dog sled. So any O-ring figure you could put on there, make it look pretty nice. All right, let's take a look at the dogs. There is 6 dogs. They are all the same. And on the bottom here, they have 2 pegs. And that allows you to strap them in to the harness. You pop it off and you can see the 2 pegs. And the dogs do have articulation. There's not a lot of articulation, but there's enough to make it so it doesn't look like you just have 6 of the exact same dogs. So their heads do move up and down a little bit. Each leg articulates a little bit. They are pretty stiff. I was scared that I was going to break a couple of them, so you might want to heat them up a little bit. As you can see here, look at that. Okay, so I can't even bend that one. Valor version that made it work another. There we go. And then this tail moves. So you can kind of move them so they don't all look like they're the exact same dog. All right, and then again, it just pops 2 holes right there, and they just slide right on the peg on. So you can have your dog sledding team, pulling snake eyes, or whatever you want to use. So quickly, I want to show you the size of the dogs compared to Timber and Junkyard. So as you can clearly see, there's really no comparison. These dogs are way bigger. Timber is a wolf, so you would think he's a little bigger. These are, I believe, Huskies, which is a pretty big dog. But if I remember correctly, Junkyard is, what is he? He's a Rottweiler. And Rottweilers are what? About 120 pounds. So you can clearly see they don't really scale. But again, I'm not going to nitpick too much. I'd rather nitpick about articulation. So as we can see, again, 5 points of articulation here. And if we want to grab Snow Serpent and you see how they fit, how they scale, they look pretty nice. Here's a Storm Shadow. Again, they all scale extremely nice. But then you take your 40th anniversary and you can make it work, but it's really hard to do my best here. You can see how much taller the 40th anniversary 4-inch figures are. So they still work. I work them in all together. It's not going to be the same as a Classified and then a Super 7 Ultimate when they come out. So there's our quick review. So now what we're going to do is, if you guys have seen the glow, I can't say I have. So light's been on. There you go. This light's been shining. And here we have our Mattel Scare Glow. Now it does say right here, right? Let's recheck this. It does say red glow. I'm assuming the red glow is when the lights go off. So let's take a second. Turn the lights off. And see if we have a red glow. And I can't speak for you guys, but the only figure I see glowing is Scare Glow. So I'm not really sure how. Okay, I'm actually waving the figure like an idiot. I'm not really sure where this red glow is. So maybe someone in the comments can tell me how Snake Eyes is supposed to glow. but I can tell you that I'm not able to get a glow out of it. Alright, so there you have it. I did forget to show you the canister. Again, I'm not a professional, but I do my best. So there's a canister. Everyone, I think, remembers the canister. And there is your Blind Woodsman. Again, he looks nice for what he is. Cartoon accurate. In the back, 5 points of articulation. And then here is our red glow snake eyes. I find that hard to say. Again, at the price point, and this is where the big dilemma comes. $75 for this. Is it worth it? Again, that's for your pocketbook to decide. I think the reaction line is heavily overpriced for what they are. Once again, I will reiterate that Super 7, I do understand, is seen as a smaller company, but you do have the Hasbro line of the 5 points of articulation, which charge $10. Now, they could have done the exact same thing, and maybe they're kicking themselves because they didn't do that. They could have taken their 5 points of articulation side of their company and done 5 points of articulation of G.I. Joe. Again, I don't know why we want 5 points of articulation. The comic accurate is pretty cool, but to have a different vehicle that's never been made, and I'm assuming that it's never going to be made, it's nice. $75. Again, if you do 18 and 18, you're already looking at $36. Having 6 dogs with a slight bit of articulation, that's kind of cool. It's going to look really nice in the back or even in the front. I mean, the sled looks nice. All right. Box looks nice. You know, if you're a collector and you like to keep it in the box. Now, what is nice is that these figures just pop right out. You don't have to destroy anything, nothing like that. So, anyway, there you are. That is my review of the Arctic Rescue Vehicle. Super 7 reaction, 5 points of articulation. Clearly, there is no red glow other than what's in your imagination. As you can see, Scare Glow, a $15 figure, goes way better than our tiny 3.75 snake eyes. Anyway, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Follow the channel. Completely appreciate it. I'm starting to ramble. It's time for me to go. Punk with Toys on Instagram, and happy toy hunting.